Welcome back, everyone. This is the second video in the three-part series about refinishing this gun. Today I'm using the Birchwood Casey system to go ahead and re-blue all of the steel parts on this gun. First step in the process is to use this cleaner degreaser. It's a very intense degreasing soap. The instructions say to clean the parts with the solution and then stick them in warm water to rinse the soap off. It's especially important that this step gets done very well and very thoroughly. Otherwise, the next steps in the process are inhibited by any grease or anything that might already be on the parts. The second part of the process is to use the blue and rust remover. It's amazing how quickly this removes the blue from your steel parts. Again, you're supposed to apply the solution with a cotton swab or the provided daubers. You let it sit for a moment, and then to stop the process, you put it into the warm, clean water again. With all the small parts out of the way, I did the barrel here. If you watch this, you can see some of the stuff was a little tough to get off, so I used the steel wool as recommended in the instructions. If you have any areas that are particularly stubborn, to use that steel wool to help assist the blue and rust remover in its task. It's amazing, you can see how quickly that the old bluing came off the barrel and it turned silver. With all these small parts coming out of the rinse water, you can see how nicely some of the black parts have become a beautiful silver color. The surface finish on the parts affects the final finish of the bluing. So for the barrel, I wanted a high gloss, very dark black. So I went ahead and polished the barrel up all the way through about 2000 grit. Once I reached a certain point on the barrel, I decided that several of the small parts would be visible, and I wanted them to have a similar finish to the barrel. So I went ahead and polished those ones up as well. Finally, the last step in the process, applying the PermaBlue liquid gun blue. It's important that your parts are insanely clean at this point. any gunk or grease or fingerprints or anything that's on the parts will cause the bluing to be masked off and won't apply properly. The instructions say to place the parts in a bath of just clean water, no soap, no anything, to stop the reaction. Basically, the bluing is a controlled rusting. So putting it in the water stops the chemical reaction, but then you need to go ahead and dry those parts thoroughly once the reaction is stopped. Otherwise, they will rust. Some of the parts may not come out as black as you want on the first go. What the instructions recommend, and from what I've done some research and from personal experience, after the first application, when the parts come out of the water solution and you dry them thoroughly, after they've had a chance to air dry for a bit, rub them down with some 4/0 steel wool. That takes a little bit of the matte finish off of the surface, and it gives you a better idea of how much bluing has actually penetrated into the surface of the metal. If the parts aren't blue enough, then go ahead and reapply the bluing solution and re-rinse them. It seems like about 30 seconds of bluing application is the maximum, and if it's not blue enough, go ahead and stop the reaction, polish with the steel wool, and then bring it back. Here I'm starting the bluing process on the barrel with the receiver end first. Here you can really see how quickly that bluing process reacts with the surface of the metal, and it makes it easy to see here how you can watch that reaction take place and know when it's stopping the bluing and starting to just rust the surface of the metal. On the barrel portion itself, I was struggling a little bit. I was getting that mottled kind of multicolored brown blue rainbow effect on the barrel, and I couldn't figure out why. So once it had been through the blue solution, I scrubbed it down with the steel wool, and I was really struggling. One of the things that I had good success with was to actually apply the bluing solution to the barrel with the steel wool. I don't know what that changes in the reaction exactly, but I think that by going up to a 2000 grit, that I had almost sealed off the surface of the metal too much, and the bluing wasn't able to penetrate in the same way it would on a rougher surface finish. I would assume something more like a 320 or a 400 grit would get you a better result. The other thing I discovered is that by letting this sit, so after I had finished all of the bluing, I let my parts sit for a couple of days, and by the time I got to reassembling the rifle, the bluing finish had really evened out and darkened up quite a bit. And now that the rifle has been together and had a chance to sit for several weeks, it's a nice dark black, beautiful blue color. So even though I might have had some struggles in the process, it turned out well in the end. Well, I hope that helped everyone out. If you got something out of this video, feel free to leave a comment down below, or at least leave a like on the video. That'd help me out. Let me know some viewer feedback if you guys appreciate this or not. I've got a couple other videos coming up. Be sure to look for those. I'm going to show the rest of the rifle stock refinishing, and then I think I'm going to do a separate video for the actual reveal of the rifle. Maybe spend a little time out in the desert and get some action shots out of it. Feel free to continue to watch some of my other videos, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, everyone.